Hello, I'm your host Mazentius, and welcome back to The Last Door Season 2 Collector's Edition. And this time we are actually on a new episode. We completed the playwright last time, and now we are on My Dearest Visitor. Dr. Wakefield and Kaufman pay a visit to eccentric Professor Wright, whose research may cast some light over the strange events they have witnessed so far. Let's begin. Previously, on The Last Door, Wakefield and Kaufman followed the only clue they had on Devitt's location, the recipient of Anthony's disturbing letter, Alexandra Dupre. Wakefield visited the East Hill Asylum to gather some information on Dupre's past. Wakefield discovered that Dupre was the leader of a secret society known as the Playwright. He learned that they practiced rituals with the goal of peering through the veil, the line that separates the common world from an outer void full of horrors. One of East Hill's patients turned out to be a member of the Playwright, but she escaped the asylum. Wakefield and Kaufman followed her to her hideout, a cabin in the mountains, when suddenly a big flock of birds appeared. I must forget nothing. Everything must be set. When the time comes, and I am visited again, did he just explode himself in a mine shaft? Off to a great start again. I really just love this music. For a moment, the sky was dark. We heard the calls of 1,000 birds, but another sound rose above them, a sound I cannot describe. What? What just happened in here? Where's Miss Conhay? We are too late. It is ashes? The windows are covered with wooden planks. It looks as if she were trying to keep someone from entering, or something from getting out. Chalk. A circle drawn hastily on the floor. She thought it could prevent what she knew was about to happen, but she was wrong. I do not know what to make of all this. I do. Are you all right, Kaufman? It is nothing, mein friend. Just a bit of a cold. Now, mein friend, I think we should talk. In light of the events we have recently witnessed, the matter cannot be delayed any further. You must make an important decision. It is not yet too late to go back to our daily lives. If you do not want to continue, you must forget all about your patient Jeremiah Devitt. You will have to keep to yourself everything you have learned about the mystery of his disappearance and never talk about it again. But should you wish to continue the search, you will need to accept the consequences, whatever they may be. Please do not take this decision lightly. The path ahead is not without peril. You know my answer already, Kaufman. I must know what happened to Devitt. So be it then. As you may have already realized, this matter involving your patient transcends the limits of psychiatry as we know it. We are not dealing with the effects of trauma or the demons of the subconscious, at least not in the terms we are used to. We are dealing with something old, something dark, a sinister truth that has been buried deep for generations. This man, Alexandre Dupre, and his organization, I think they seek to uncover these secrets, and I fear they might have already. Miss Connie's fate, whatever it was, must be related somehow, but my knowledge of this area is simply not sufficient. We must pay a visit to an old friend, someone I never thought I would want to see again, the man who introduced me to the extended scientific field of the occult. My mentor, Professor Adam Wright. Season 2, Episode 2, My Dearest Visitor. Wickport, Wright Manor. And it's snowing! Yay! Gotta love the snow. I doubt he is away at this time of day. Perhaps he cannot hear us from the front. Let us try the back door. Miss Oakwood. She's the manor's housekeeper. Yes? Who is it? Good morning, Miss Oakwood. Don't you remember me? Why, Dr. Kaufman! Bless my soul, it's been so long, I hardly recognize you. How nice to see you again. Allow me to introduce my colleague, Dr. John Wakefield. Is the professor at home? We would like to see him. Why, yes, Doctor, of course. I am quite forgetting myself. Let me take you to him. It is really good of you to come. He receives so few visitors these days, on account of his condition. His condition? Oh, sir, I am right sorry. I thought you knew. The professor, he suffers from an ailment afflicting his brain. He is now entirely confined to his bed. Professor Wright? You have visitors. One of them is your old friend. Look. Do you recognize him? It is Johann, Professor, your old pupil. I reckon he does remember you, Johann. It has been a long time since I have seen him so excited. I will leave you two to talk to the professor. It may be difficult to keep him on one subject for long, but oh, it does him such a world of good to speak with old friends. Should you need my assistance, I will be in the backyard. Professor? Uncle James, you are back. It is I, Professor, Johann Kaufman. Where is father? Where has he been taken? He suffers from some kind of memory loss. Yes. I am afraid he will not tell us much in this state. If we could but stimulate his memories, maybe then he could tell us of his research, something to unravel the mystery of the playwright. Perhaps we have few other options. In any case, let us try. Why don't you explore the manor? There may be some object we can use to jog the professor's memory. Meanwhile, I will try and talk to him about the time we researched together. That could also help him remember. A large wardrobe of engraved wood. Remember those times? We could barely get any sleep at all. We must find a way to help the professor recover his memories. Why don't you try to find some object that the professor may have kept as a memento? Meanwhile, I will keep telling him about the years we spent researching together. Professor Wright's gaze remains fixed on the window, as though he were waiting for someone. The snow is falling outside, slow and silent. Now I wonder what if I had stayed. Please, Professor, talk to me. It is locked. The sign on the door reads attic. A lamp provides a soft glow that somehow lacks warmth. An engraving on paper, the script is from a language unknown to me. A painting of the ocean at the end of the afternoon. There's a figure in black on the beach, but its face is shrouded by a hood. An oil painting, it shows an obscure medieval scene. Found the bathroom. Though I see myself in the mirror, the reflection is strangely distorted. A common radiator. A large porcelain tub, its hefty weight supported on 4 blackened iron feet. A thin ring of damp residue around its interior suggests recent use. It won't open. So the front, a fierce line damaged by the harsh weather of the coast. Its head is missing. There's a strange ornament on the wall. I think I can move it. Oh, this will be a puzzle for later. A porcelain jar containing some dried branches. A portrait of Professor Wright. His appearance was quite different back then, an imposing, inquisitive figure. It is locked. A sea landscape. A bread oven. A cast iron wood stove. Various ingredients. Glass jars filled with spices and pickled food. The door is locked shut. A small sign reads basement. May I ask you something, Miss Oakwood? Of course, Doctor. I will leave you to your work. Thank you for your assistance. Have a good day, Dr. Wakefield. I did not want to, of course, hit that. How did the professor become afflicted? The ailment runs in his family. Mr. Wright suffers from it, as did his father and grandmother before him. It is truly a terrible thing, and to think all these years Mr. Wright knew what would become of him. May God have pity on his poor soul. This ailment that runs in Professor Wright's family, do you know what its symptoms are? Well, I can't speak those very long words physicians use, but I can tell you what I see in him. Professor Wright hardly remembers a thing from the last 40 years. It is like he is a child again. With God's mercy, it has now gone so far that it torments him no longer. I must go. A thick layer of ice covers the pool of water. The Queen has removed her mask. There's an empty hole where her face should be. The statue portrays a clergyman hiding his face behind a mask. The central statue portrays a cloaked figure holding a clay vessel. The vessel has a small hole in it, just large enough to see a metal object inside. The statue portrays a sage hiding his face behind a mask. This statue portrays a peasant woman with her face hidden beneath a mask. A stiff tree almost seems like a statue itself. When the four remove their masks of lies, the path to the grave will be cleared. So I need to find a way to break those masks. Interesting. So far, nothing to pick up. Hopefully, this area here will lead to an answer. Professor Wright has an eclectic collection from old adventure novels to the treatises on the occult sciences. Some of these titles, I believe, have been forbidden by the Crown. A tin soldier, it looks to have been painted by hand. It commemorates some military campaign that I have never heard of. Could it hold some special significance to Professor Wright? Perhaps it will help stimulate his memories. The fire burns fiercely, rendering the air thick and heavy in the room. A painting of the cliffs of this region. A globe. The surface is extraordinary detail. Judging by the strange shape of the continents, this must derive from a fictional work or some prehistoric era. Interesting. The continents move. It is locked. I can hear the racket of many birds on the other side. An enormous painting showing a torrential river and the waves splashing on the banks. In the background, I can see an old church, apparently abandoned. Do you recognize this, Professor Wright? Sergeant Downing was sent to the front. The man that returned was not Sergeant Downing. My dearest visitor, you will know where to look. Oh, what a time we will have. Your visitor? What do you mean, Professor? He will have seen the map, and will know the Book of Travels. The Book of Travels? Yes. You will work it out, but it must not be too easy, no. But you will find the prize, I am sure. Prize? What on earth is he talking about, Kaufman? Something concealed, something precious. In his addled state, could he have hidden away parts of his research? He was always a proud man. He would not easily have forgotten his most groundbreaking work. A sense of its grave importance at least would have remained. In his confusion, perhaps he has holed it away somewhere for this dearest visitor of his to find. Why don't you explore the manor? Perhaps something will relate to these latest ramblings. Meanwhile, I will continue my endeavors to revive his memory through conversation. Well, a book, I'd guess. There's a large volume here, quite worn. It is an illustrated edition of The Travels of Marco Polo. Perhaps this is the Book of Travels that Professor Wright mentioned. There's a marking on one of these pages. We began our journey by crossing the unforgiving desert, always facing the setting sun. At last we arrived at the merciful side of the great ocean. We followed the coast north, in dear hope of reaching our home soon. Excuse me. It was not to be. The king of the land we traversed had declared war on the Great Khan, so we were forced to return as we had come. We never set foot in that bloody land again. We knew there was a port just a few miles to the south, where we could find a boat. Our sea voyage was short, as our sails billowed with the powerful southern winds. We reached the most eastern cape, and landed there, our backs to the sea. We marched forth, and soon reached home. So, starting there... Whoa, that worked? It seems I have triggered a hidden mechanism. A small compartment has opened in the globe. There's a sealed letter inside. It is simply addressed, "To my dearest visitor. Kaufman needs to see this before it is opened." Just an empty compartment. Its sides and base are covered in black velvet. You know, that was a really lucky guess. Didn't take me long to solve that puzzle. I'm happy, proud. Kaufman, look, I found an envelope. It was hidden inside a globe that a strange mechanism opened. To my dearest visitor, let us see what is inside. Exactly, this is another part of an intricate riddle, but to what purpose? To conceal something, perhaps? Or just the last acts of a confused and drowning mind? I'm increasingly of the opinion that this is some mental construct, some riddle conjured up by the professor's failing mind. He may not have even understood what he hid. Those seeking wisdom must first know their own foolishness. Reflect on yourself in the heat of passion to reveal what the cold eye of logic sees not. A riddle? And who would that visitor be? That is unknown to me, mein friend. There's only one way to answer that question. If we can find the answer to the professor's riddle, perhaps we will be able to solve this mystery. Those seeking wisdom must first know their own foolishness. Reflect on yourself in the heat of passion to reveal what the cold eye of logic does not. This mirror does seem warped. Reflect on yourself, said the riddle, and the cold eye of logic sees not. Could there be something here, hidden somehow? Though I see myself in the mirror, the reflection is strangely distorted. The thin ring. Common radiator. Perhaps it was too easy. A bread oven. Ah, hello, you're baking bread now? May I ask you something, Miss Oakwood? Of course, Doctor. Is Professor Wright fond of riddles? Do you know is the professor fond of riddles or puzzles? Indeed, yes. He has long been an enthusiast of every mind game you can imagine. In better days, he would host parties every other month. Theme soirees, he called them. Oh, those were good times. It seems long ago now. I will leave you to your work. Thank you for your assistance. Have a good day, Dr. Wakefield. Jars filled with spices and pickled food. There's a matchbox here, too. I may need these matches later on. Various ingredients. Cast iron wood stove with nothing in it. I wonder if I heat up. Nope. Reflect on yourself in the heat of passion to reveal what the cold eye does not. The fire burns fiercely, rendering the air thick and heavy in this room. A thick layer of ice covers the pool of water. The oak tree looks ancient, probably older than the manor itself. Wait, can I go this way? Nope, that just leaves me here. A porcelain jar containing some dried. I swear I want to light fire to something. Maybe it's just me being a pyro. But I really thought I would use something. My dearest visitor will find the prize, I have no doubt. Only by answering the riddle can we hope to achieve things. I just keep coming back here. I think it's... a gilded pipe. It runs from the floor to the ceiling. No, I've already read this. I appear to be lost. As all doors are locked. The cast iron wood stove. Wait, I wonder. By lighting that may heat up the upstairs. Though I see myself in the mirror, the reflection is strangely distorted. An old teapot is filled with cold water. The water will cool soon. Well, I knew I had to do something with a mirror. Reflect on yourself in the heat of passion to reveal knowledge the golden eye of logic does not. Condensation from the teapot steam has revealed a hidden message. I'll add this clue to the letter. Knowing yourself, you may look upon your master, meet his imposing gaze, and seek to understand what lies beneath, thereby learn the question, if not the final answer. Professor Wright's gaze remains fixed on the window as though he were waiting for someone. Only by answering the riddle. Yeah. You may look upon your master, meet his imposing gaze, and seek to understand what lies beneath. Look upon your master, meet not only his imposing gaze, but seek to understand what lies beneath. As I suspected, there is a small key taped to the back of the picture frame, and a note. I'll add this clue to the letter. The question is the world from the peak of man's tallest tower. The answer yearns up to it from the root of life and time itself. Its tallest tower. That sounds like it's the attic that I'm going to. Some kind of round mechanism. An unusual electrical device. I'm unfamiliar with its function, but I can tell that there's a piece of equipment missing. I can't. A shelf covered in old ornaments, pieces of metal work, and pipes of strange shapes. The central statue portrays a cloaked figure holding a clay vessel. The sage? The answer yearns up to it from the very root of life and time itself. I should check if there's something hidden near that tree. It looks as though something has been concealed beneath the thick roots. Another note, and a key bound together. I'll add this clue to the letter. It is a truth our ancestors knew, and with stone silence came to know. This key has been engraved with the shape of a feather. Well, I think that's going to be where the birds come from. But it's getting to that time, Menagerie. But we are here. And it's going to be right over here with the sound of the birds. But for now, I'm going to call it. Until next time, Menagerie. Ciao there. Ciao, ciao.